After 155 days, 284 games, 13,103 points, 1,522 touchdowns, we are finally here. It is the Super Bowl preview show for 2026. G'day Aussie Gridiron fans, welcome to the G'day Gridiron Super Bowl preview show for 2026, brought to you by the Aussie Gridiron Network. And g'day boys, Brad and Nick, how are you going?
Beautiful. 23 hours, 21 hours, something like that till we have kickoff. So this is fantastic. This is why we do it. I'm so pumped to be a part of this.
The greatest day of the calendar year this Monday, but it also could be the worst, depending on the result. Also, I would like to say, obviously, through our supply that got the tipping comp, wearing the Trent Williams jersey tonight. Fantastic quality.
Nice. Yeah,
and
way to go.
up until a few weeks ago, I thought, you can get a player that's, probably, maybe a first ballot Hall of Famer, but the way they've been doing selections the last few weeks with Belichick and now Robert Kraft, it's not essential that a 12-time Pro Bowler and a 5-time All-Pro might make the Hall of Fame, so who knows? But nevertheless,
it's simply not good enough anymore, mate. It's not good enough.
Not good enough. Brady's a bit nervous now too.
So he should be. Yes. So it is the Super Bowl preview show for 2026. One of the biggest days on our podcasting calendar, that is for sure. I think only surpassed by our annual draft spectacular. That is probably the only biggest show that we do all year. So we're going to go through to a real Super Bowl preview for you tonight. I've got some trivia lined up for the boys. We've got some of our fun prop bets that we found from around the internet, just something to have a bit of a laugh at. And we will have for you some Super Bowl multis from each of us that you see right here, right now. And I've got one from Taylor as well. And if you've been watching socials, or you are watching socials over the weekend at G'day Gridiron everywhere, I'll put those out on the socials and you can comment on them, or you can also follow along on wherever you place your betting bits and pieces and have some fun and get a little bit of skin in the game for the Super Bowl and just make it exciting for yourself. Not that it couldn't be any more exciting anyway. Monday off work to go to a pub
100%.
at 10 a.m. and drink beer and watch football. Yes, please.
Turn it into a long weekend.
I already told my boss. I said, I'm coming down with a cough. I'm not feeling very well. I think I might have to take a day or two off. He's like, oh no, you got plenty of time. You got 3 days. You'll be all right.
It's not one of those coughs.
Yeah.
It's like COVID. You got to do a full week.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
We are missing Isaac tonight. He couldn't be with us this evening. He's recorded something. I haven't actually even listened to it yet, but I will put it. He's recorded something in a way of a preview. So he did want to put in his own little preview. What we're going to do is we're going to preview both of the teams. I'll chuck Isaac's in at the end of all of that, so you can hear Isaac's preview as well. We're going to talk about each of the teams individually, how they got here, how they're going to fare during this matchup against each other, and we'll just have some fun, boys, on Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
It's the Super Bowl. How can you not have fun?
Exactly, Brad. How can you not have fun on the Super Bowl? I mean, if very least, if it's going to be a terrible game, you just drink more beer.
And if Seattle wins, you drink even more beer. That's how it's going to be. That's how I plan on doing it.
This is not going to be a terrible game. What did they say? The last 3 games, 3 times these teams have played. It's every time it's come down to the 1 yard line. So this is not going to be a bad game.
No, definitely not. Fingers crossed. All right, let's get stuck into the all-important Super Bowl preview. We're going to kick it off with that. We're going to do each team individually, talk about them, and then how they mash together as they preview. Brad has set us up with a little bit of how the team got here. So let's start off with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the important question. And when we say how did they get here, it's not just talking about their record and game by game type of thing, but earlier, if you look back at some of our earlier shows, last two shows, we did like a post-mortem on the teams, and looking at just what do they need to do to progress. And I think if you go back and look at from the Patriots last year, you would say that this team has no right to be here whatsoever. You could make that argument for both teams, really, but I think it's important to dissect that and what have the Patriots done to make it this far, and it kind of is a blueprint, I think, to a certain degree of just how teams can run or what they can do to take that next step. So if you're a fan of another team, unless you're the New York Jets, you got a chance for next year, really. How did the Patriots get here? I think one of the things you got to look at is their free agent signings. Arguably, they had one of the most reckless, it felt reckless to me, free agent signing last year. If you look at it, they signed three players that have just given them major contributions. And in fact, you could argue they've hit on all those contributions, those free agent signings. So Milton Williams, defensive tackle, $28 million a year. That guy has proved his value. He's the second highest paid D tackle in the NFL. Hit Carlton Williams. I'm a big fan of the Fresh Prince. Carlton Davis. It's sad that I even know that. Carlton Davis, cornerback. They hit on him. He's played well. And the one that blew me away, Stephon Diggs. I really thought this guy was done, especially after his last injury. Here you are, 31 years old, coming off an ACL injury, and yet the guy has come through clutch. And that's only their major signings. They also did, mid-tier Morgan Moses, Garrett Bradbury, Robert Spillane. Those guys all delivered good value for them. So I would say they didn't just hit on their stars. They hit on their mid-tier guys, and they gave them depth. So that's just one aspect of their off-season acquisitions that I think they hit on. The other point, and this is not just me rambling here, I'll give you guys a second to respond, but I think you can't discount Drake May and the development that he has had. That guy is unreal what he has done. If you look back to Week 5 versus the Bills, he showed he's on the next level. And I think when he rolled out to he just threw a perfect pass to Diggs, they win the game. And in 24, you got to look at that Pats O-line. They were one of the worst O-lines, but yet they've really turned it around. They're not the best, but I think just with what Drake May has done in that offensive line, it's phenomenal because McVay's offense is not easy. They put a lot on the quarterback. Just ask Jimmy Garoppolo when he was the quarterback for McVay, and it didn't work very well for him. So I think not McVay. I keep saying McVay. McDaniels. Sorry, McDaniels. But I think what May has done in McDaniels' offense is just phenomenal, and Vrabel has turned out to be a difference maker with all the little bits and pieces and the way he clock manages, and he just finds all the edge and ways to get it, and he does a great job with it. Sorry, that's the longest you'll ever hear me rant, but I was just really, really impressed with the way the Pats have done it. I don't know, Nick, do you have any thoughts? Do you disagree with any of that, or?
No, not at all. I was going to say you gave a lot of the reasons at the end as to why going back to a preseason prediction, I had a look at this the other day. I did have the Patriots in making the playoffs. A lot of that was due to, you get a massive bump with Mike Vrabel coming in, then Josh McDaniels. So usually when you've got the bump with those sort of guys, and then obviously a little bit of banking on, Drake May taking that next step now with, better coaching, and it's showed. They've upgraded their O-line, but even you mentioned about their free agency, first 3 picks. So Will Campbell really struggled in the playoffs. During the season was okay, but give him time. Obviously he's only in his first year, but in the next pick, Travion Henderson, tick, great selection. He'll get even better. Colt Williams was their next pick. He's been quite serviceable, been pretty good in some good games. Is a really good sort of option for them as well. They don't have a lot of sort of great talents, but they're deep. They've got some guys that can come in and play a role. He's one of those guys. The upgrade on the O-line, like you said. So yes, of course, you can point to a lot of them being able to be like, it's a soft schedule. Entirely true, right? It has been a soft schedule, but they're also 9-0 on the road. And for a young team, that says more about, the coaching influence and, how mature the whole locker room has been to be able to go on the road every week and win. Yeah. So that's a real big tick. And obviously the leap that they've made this year isn't just because obviously they've had the soft schedule, but because Drake May is an MVP candidate. You can make the argument there. He's at least the top 10 quarterback. He could be knocking on the door in that 5th spot maybe, if he wins this Monday. So there's a lot really going, and obviously defensively, you mentioned a lot with offensively. Defensively, they got even better. Christian Gonzalez has been great. They've been able to add to their, front 7. Spillane had a really good year. Obviously, Milton Williams when he came back. They started really, really well against the run. Sort of dropped off, sort of towards the back end of the year, but in the playoffs have really picked up again. In terms of their rush defense, it's probably been the best in the playoffs. We'll talk more about it in a sec. But yeah, obviously, they've caught some breaks. Obviously no Chiefs, no Ravens, no. They didn't play the Bills in the playoffs, but obviously they've played them twice early in the year. They came up against a team that was without their starting quarterback in the conference title game. But a lot of these runs, sometimes you're gonna have a little bit of luck on the way, and you get to this spot, and they've played really consistent football. So it's been good to see, a team that just went from nothing. It's really good. It's a really good story. A team that goes from nothing. It's weird to say about the Patriots. I've grown up with them being at the top every year. Yeah. But a team that's done nothing for about the last 4 or 5 years, and then just shoot all the way straight back up. So you love those sort of stories, and you hit the nail on the head with what you were saying before.
Yeah, it's talking about the defense and Vrabel. I'm glad you brought that up. Vrabel's a CEO coach, okay? So he kind of just manages every little bit of everything. But what he has done, the CEO coach only works when you add value, and he's added value. And that defense, I think he's had a large hand in it. And what's his name that gets a lot of credit? The guy who took over Zach Kerr.
Zach Kerr.
Early in the year. Yeah, but Vrabel's got his fingerprints all over it. But I've always said in the NFL, teams, and didn't come from me. This is obvious. But when teams get film on you, that's when you have to adjust or you die. And what Vrabel and that defense has done is phenomenal. So because I've came across this stat. One, their playoff blitzing rate has jumped from 25% in the regular season to 40%. That's a huge jump in a stylistic change. So and you can't do that just willy-nilly. You have to have a lot of prep in to be able to do those types of things. But not only that, that's indicative though of what he did during the regular season when early in the season, first quarter of the season, the Pats played with a real light box. So when we say box for the casual listener, it's talking about how many players are inside from tackle to tackle, and inside that width there. And they played with a really light box. And then at mid-season, early there, they all of a sudden they switch and go to a heavy box. So they completely switch their identities. And that is that's a massive thing. But you do that when you're confident in your players and when you know there's film and you got to make these adjustments. It's teams that keep doing the same stuff that they don't get the success. So hats off to Vrabel and that defense for changing things up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I reckon too, we did get on the Pats all year about this so-called soft schedule, but when you actually dig into it a little more, it's not as soft as you think. Like obviously there's among some of the worst teams in inverted commas in the league, but a lot of those teams were really bad as offensive units, or they just weren't at the highest of highs, or they were mid-tier teams. Right? It's just the way it was. But I think the early loss against the Raiders sort of, I think everyone woke up and went, oh God, here we go again. Pats are going to be terrible. But then they come back, had the loss against the Steelers, and then slammed out a 10-game winning streak against some of their toughest opponents, most of which were division opponents as well, which is the other big thing. You get that early win over the Bills, where they had to actually come back in the fourth quarter to win that game. Defensively, though, they stepped up hugely. They kept the Bills to a minimal score and got them over the line. And then you went up against Cleveland, who we all know were one of the better defenses in the entire league. Atlanta, whose defense, whilst being flaky and up and down, were actually pretty good on its day. You've got wins against the Bucks, where Bowles mid-season. This is Bucks pre-bye, where they were actually a decent team. Bowles as a defensive coach is great. They get that, grind out that win there, and then you've got the Ravens later on in the season, who similarly were sort of really high-powered offense. Their defense was doing pretty well. But all in all, what I'm trying to get at is the schedule wasn't as soft as it actually seems. What they were doing offensively were managing to score against these really good defenses, like these good quality defenses. So they managed to score, keep points on the board, and then just letting their defense, which has been the highlight of the Pats all season, absolutely cook a team in every single game. Most of these games, a couple of close ones points-wise, but a lot of them, the majority of teams didn't get over about 16 to 17 points for the whole game. You look down the schedule, there are so many points against, whether it's 13, 14, 19, 14, 13, 15. Like, you see the pattern here, and in all of these games, the Pats scored 30 or over. So they've done exactly what they needed to do. The schedule might have looked soft, but they were handling good defenses by scoring points against them and then letting their own defense absolutely cook these other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we move on to the Seahawks?
Absolutely, we should move on to the Seahawks, Brad.
All right. When we look at the Seahawks and how they got here, for me, there's three main things. And I think, number one, every offensive thing they did, they hit on. Just like the Pats hit on all their kind of free agent acquisitions. When it comes to the offense, they nailed it. The Seahawks nailed it. So you think about this. They let go of Geno. After Geno had arguably his best or second best season ever, they let go of him and they decided, no, we're going to go after Sam Darnold and we're going to pivot. That's ballsy when you think about it, because it's hard to move from something that you know and is comfortable. There's nothing wrong with Geno, but you think, no, in order for us to take the next step, we want to go after Darnold. And they did that, not knowing how it was going to turn out. So that's one thing. They hit on Darnold. Second thing, do you guys remember when DK Metcalf was a Seahawk? Because it seems like it's a long time ago. But how good has that turned out to be, in the sense, and kind of piggybacking on that, is they said, okay, we can trade DK because we've got JSN. and he is going to be a true number one. I didn't know if he was going to be a true number one, but he has stepped up, and he is more than a true number one. He is one of the best number ones. And then I think offensively, you can't discount Clint Kubiak. That guy, what that guy has done is phenomenal. I saw it in preseason. I said his offense is going to be dynamic. It's going to look great. But I had no idea that it would be able to do what he's done. I mean, it's not like, like McVay type stuff, but he's just solid every week, and he puts his players in such good positions. It works. It really, really works. So they've hit on all this offensive stuff. I think also just the way they scheme things. So this is kind of a little bit coming back to McVay, but this would be my second point. The way they scheme the offenses, specifically the offensive line. They rebuilt that offensive line, and they didn't do it with stars. They did it with free agent acquisitions. They draft a rookie out of North Dakota State. Then they pick up a guard, and then they get in the first round, and then they get also from North Dakota State their center. So and they get, I think, 3 new players. Or they had 3 guys come back, and they got 2 new ones. Is what it was. But they go from this gun drop back heavy Geno Smith to much more of a wide spread 'em play action type stuff, and it's just worked, and it's beautiful to look at. So hats off to them and the offensive line. And then finally, say for me, the Seahawks, what they've done, that defensive line, the way they've structured that defensive line. There's no stud. They're not like, there's nobody that you look on there and goes, oh, Bosa or somebody like that, or Micah, who's just, you think is lights out. They don't have this single stud. But what they do have is pressure by committee, and they are elite when it comes to short yardage situations. They just find a way consistently to get it done, and they rotate their guys. You see that over and over and over. They rotate their guys. They're at least 7 deep, and that's going to cause a problem in this Super Bowl, because they're gonna, I think, potentially wear out that Pats O-line, and you see it a lot with teams that they were played against in the fourth quarter. They are gassed, and yet that Seattle defensive line is still fresh. So it's and what that D-line does schematically is it allows you to play with light boxes. They depend on that D-line to get the pressure, and then they can play very conservative, too high safety, shell coverage, keep everything in front of them, and they disguise their blitzes really well. It's just such a well organized, disciplined defense. It's fun to watch. Yeah. So Nick, I don't know what's your thoughts on the Seahawks and how they got here.
Starting back from week 1, and it's a noticeable change. I would have seen a lot more than what you guys would have, just because we had played them in that first week, and it looked like from that stage it was pretty much similar to what they had the season before with Geno. So it was a lot more, as you described it. They had gone through with a lot of shotgun drop back, and just say, yep, Darnold, just chip away, get at it. They then pivoted from that as the weeks went by, and you'll notice that if you go back and watch their sort of games early on, and probably see Hawks fans would know this, they started to go, okay, we'll lean into the run game a bit more, which is sort of what helped them towards the back end of last season with Walker and Charbonnet. So they lean into that, and then that works, and then that sort of opens up and gives, Sam Darnold a bit more confidence. And, apart from that first game, the only real other sort of hiccups he had was obviously the game against the Rams in LA, where he turned the ball over 4 times, going up against obviously the Rams. At that point, he sort of had struggled against that defense the last obviously couple of games, the one with obviously the Vikings, and then coming across with Seattle. So apart from that, they've really lent into the run game. They've been able to support Sam Darnold with being able to hold up on their O-line. So like you said, they've improved their O-line, so they're giving him more time. particularly with their tackles. That's been an issue for them for ages. That's why every time, Nick Bosa's been able to play him, he plays one of these best games of the year because their tackles just aren't that good. They've been able to fix that this year. So offensively, you can see they've got a bit more rhythm. They're a lot more fluent in what they do. And you can see they move the ball better in their passing game, their running game. JSN's benefited from it. They've had these other guys step up, like AJ Barner at tight end. Obviously, they've had Cooper Kupp that's been quite serviceable for them when he plays. So you can see there's been physical change for them with how they go about it. Defensively, though, is the story. I mean, we all sort of knew, and it was weird because even though the defense was so good, I still came into this season. Obviously, my concern was more offense, but didn't think they'd be this good. We knew that they were going to be towards the top. I didn't think they were going to be this good. Their relentlessness against other offenses is insane. More so how they come up against younger quarterbacks, which is going to be a big thing in this game. 7 touchdowns, 12 interceptions against quarterbacks under the age of 25. 1 in 9 those quarterbacks are against Mike McDonald with a 68 passer rating. So he knows how to work. It's like when they used to talk about Belichick, speaking of the Patriots, when it was at New England, he used to say when you young quarterback going up against Bill Belichick, it's an absolute nightmare. It's the same thing it looks like now with Mike McDonald. These defensive guys just know how to get to these younger quarterbacks, not being able to see as much, so they can throw different stuff at them. And that's sort of Mike McDonald's special. Like, he likes sort of moving stuff around. He's got these weird sort of coverages, but they all sort of work well, where it's a blend of hybrid safety and 2 high safeties with man. Because he's got such talent on the back end, he can just do so much with it, which is what he did in Baltimore as the DC, because he had all that talent on the back end. Obviously now doing it with Seattle. So he's got just a lot of moving parts on the back end. Defensively, they've really pulled themselves through. Offensively, though, they have obviously been able to go through. They haven't played a great defense in a while. They've played the Rams sort of twice, and sort of fallen off the second half of the year. That's probably the one thing. I know we'll probably talk about, results with betting and everything like that in a sec, but it's probably the one thing where I key in on New England as opposed to Seattle going into this week. A lot more people saying Seattle a bit more battle-tested as opposed to New England this week. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because you look at the defense, purely defense, the Chargers, the Texans, then the Broncos. Whereas, Seattle's gone up against, us twice the last, couple of weeks. And then the Rams, obviously 2 weeks ago. And then even before that, some other games that they've also played as well. Like, you've got teams like the Colts, the Falcons, Minnesota's probably their only good defense. And then you've got, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Commanders, and then the bye week. And then they had Houston. So all the way back in October is a top-tier defense that they've played. It's going to be really interesting, I think, with New England's rush defense really picking up. I really want to see now. You're probably going to get Sam Darnold a bit more forced into doing some things. They're not a team that... Well, they are a better team at getting to the quarterback and creating pressure than obviously the Rams, what we were. So we're going to see how that plays out with their passing attack. And obviously, you would assume that Vrabel's going to say, look, Christian, go around with JSN, play man coverage. But it's going to be really interesting. I think, if you're looking at Seattle, if they can get some of those other guys involved in their offense, which they usually can do, apart from their running game, like Cooper Kupp, Barner, all those guys, Rashid Shaheed's a bit of a wild card in this game. So it really just depends on how they can get those other guys open with Kubiak, and just depending on how much with those interviews with the Raiders and everything, it's sort of taking his time away from film. So, yeah, it's really interesting. How do you read this one, Ian?
Yeah, the biggest thing to me with the Seahawks this season is exactly what you said, mate. It is that Mike McDonald defense. We've talked about it several times. The fact that they came out better, much better than anybody expected. And they absolutely dominated the league, especially down the stretch. Mid-season onwards, they were phenomenal. There's a few games sort of thrown in the mix where you could sort of question the defense, like the 38-35 loss to Tampa Bay, for instance, or even the 21-19 loss to the Rams mid-season, things like that. 30-24 against the Titans. That was like one where we all went, what the hell happened there? How did the Titans do that? So, yeah, there's that. But when you look at the season as a whole, 292 points against for the entire season. Number one in the league. Least amount of points scored against the Seahawks in the entire season. They are also third on the list for points for at 483. That difference is number one in the league, plus 191. And that is attributed not to that offense, to that defense. Because there's those odd games where they did get blown out and they managed to sort of either eke out a win or just lost a game. The rest of the games, they dominated teams. Tiny scores. And it was that, I think, Nick, you're right. People say they are more battle-tested. I've said that several times, that they are a little more battle-tested than the team they're going up against. But when you're talking about coming up against this Patriots team who have done it the hard way against mediocre teams the whole season, I don't know whether that sort of plays out in terms of being accurately battle-tested. The only real battle testing that we sort of have truly seen out of the Seahawks so far this season is actually against their own division opponents. It's against the 49ers, and it's against those Rams, because those Rams games were phenomenal. Let's be real. The NFC West games this season were just outstanding. Even their game against the Arizona mid-season, or both games against Arizona were pretty damn good. So, yeah, I think that the Seahawks get here on everything you talked about, Brad, the way they built the team. And they built it really well from the ground up, from the initial thing. The Geno thing, actually, just today, Rich Eisen show, Tom Pelissero on, he asked him to elaborate a bit more on how that Geno thing played out and the acquisition of Sam Darnold. Turns out I had found out information I didn't know, and we are involved in NFL talking every single week for all 155 plus days of the NFL so far. The Seahawks offered. Well, Geno wanted a pay raise. The Seahawks offered him a pay raise. He didn't like the amount that they offered, and then within basically the same timeline, the same breath, the Raiders came knocking and said, "We'll give you a third-round pick for him." So that's the initial catalyst when the Seahawks went, well, he said no to what we offered him, so and you're giving us a third-round pick. See you later, and then. Sam Darnold, they offer Sam Darnold something more than what the Vikings were offering. The Vikings had a multi-year deal set up for him, but it was more around like a structure to be essentially a one-year deal. And less money than what the Seahawks were offering, but they were offering a guaranteed starter, 3 years, and a decent pay bump, and they end up getting Sam Darnold on a multi-year deal for less than they were going to pay Geno as an extension.
Wow.
Less than they were already paying Geno.
Wow.
And they get a third round pick out of the deal. And now they're in a Super Bowl. Like, it's just an insane setup when you go from that point to then, how do we build this through the draft? As you said, Brad, we pick up those guys during the draft for our O-line, our D-line, and we strengthen that. And we change the scheme from what Mike McDonald did last year. We change it to be, this is how we should be playing, and this is how we should model that. And that two-headed running beast that they have. They've got two number one running backs, for God's sakes, in Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. We wouldn't have said that last year about Zach Charbonnet at all. No one would have said that about Zach Charbonnet. I remember having him on fantasy teams last year as like my third or fourth running back because he would have occasionally pick up a touchdown, and I could guarantee on that garbage time stuff when I was stuck in the middle of the season when everyone was on buys or broken. But this season, he was like almost an automatic starter as your second or third running back, like your flex spot or something like that on your teams, because he was getting the touchdowns and Walker was getting the yards. So you could start either one of them. Then you combine those two on a team, and you're destroying teams on the ground, which, as we all know, that's the way we really win games. Defense and setting the run up. Like, that's how you win a game. And it's been a blueprint for, 70 years, Brad, in the NFL, essentially. Since football started, that's been the blueprint. I mean, we never used to throw the ball in American football.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Yeah. And we still shouldn't. It should be 3 yards and a cloud of dust. Come on now.
The forward pass is a relatively new invention. It's essentially the electric vehicle of the NFL world.
Yeah, right.
What is this obsession with the forward pass?
Yeah.
It was all about trenches and running the shit out of everything.
That's right.
And that's how they built this. It's the trenches. It's that ground game. And we talk about it often with you two, because I absolutely love talking about coaching stuff and trenches with you two. But it's that's how they've done that. And that's how I see this playing out this week. This weekend for me, the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like everyone's expecting. Like Seattle's just going to blow out the Pats because they can't score. No way. Because absolutely, Mike Vrabel for the last 2 weeks plus will have been studying the tape on the Seattle offense, and he will be going, how do we lock these guys down? How do we stop that run? Do we have to double JSN? What happens if we double JSN? Who have they got? Do not kick a ball ever to Rashid Shaheed off a kickoff. Like things like that. It will be,
Don't do that.
Yeah.
that Vrabel will be figuring out that, and at the same time, Josh McDaniels will be sitting in a room with Drake May going, how do we light up their defense? How do we get around this absolute beast that is the Seattle defense? And I think that's going to combine to a really good game. It's going to be a closer game than everybody thinks.
I think so. Yeah. Absolutely. I think, and we haven't dove into the game itself. We've just looked at, okay, how have these teams got here? And it's been a good discussion. I'm glad we did it. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. Well, I don't know. I would say the general public thinks it's going to be more of a blowout. Yeah. The odds makers say it's going to be a little bit closer. So, and the more I've dove into this game and the actual, like the X and O's and all that type of stuff, I think the odds makers have it right. I still think it's going to be a little bit more than the 4-point spread or 4.5, whatever it is now.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, and I mean, I think in regards to how everyone's sort of viewing it, I think a lot of that is skewed by how the Patriots sort of played, not just 2 weeks ago, but the previous weeks. I think it's quite easy to go, oh, well, the offense is sort of capitulated now, but, you play in conditions that they did in, most of that second half in Denver. Like, how well are you really going to be able to move the ball? Let's be honest. Like, with all that snow, incredible wind and everything. So that was never going to happen. Defensively, they stepped up huge, though. So I suppose the two biggest improvements from both, so one from each side that you probably would have picked up. So it is, I do have obviously stats with this. So obviously mentioned about the rush defense for the Patriots. So only allowing 2.4 yards a carry in the playoffs, which is first out of all the teams that were in the playoffs. So that's improved. They've been able to lock teams down. They're turning the ball over. For Seattle, though, the difference that they've improved on, so not so much their defense, not so much, their run game, which has obviously been great with Walker and everything, but more so that they haven't turned the ball over as much since week 18.
Yeah.
Before that, they had the most fumbles and the second most giveaways in the entire league. So they've taken away the turnovers. So really, if you're looking at this game, it really comes down to, that side of the possession. So which team is going to go back to what it was previously? So is Seattle going to have giveaway? Are they going to give the ball away? Are they going to fumble the ball, potential picks? Or are the Patriots going to be able, or are the Patriots going to be able to be broken down a little bit easier? and even offensively for themselves, true stat that only one quarterback has thrown 3 passing touchdowns against the Houston defense this year, and that was Drake May a few weeks ago. Only quarterback to do it. And we're raving, definitely me, like singing the praises of how good that defense was. So
Yeah.
Number 2 in the league behind the Seahawks, mate. And only
Number
just.
2.
Only just
literally
like
number 2.
295 allowed. That's
So it's really interesting to see. And another thing is that obviously we mentioned it becomes a big thing. Obviously these two teams are sort of younger teams, but more so coaching. Kubiak, McDonald's first Super Bowl. This is Josh McDaniels' 10th Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel's obviously played in a bunch. First time as a head coach. So a little bit more experience on that side, maybe, if you will. So I think I actually think, just despite what maybe a lot of people think, it's probably going to be a bit of a slugfest, a bit low scoring, bit of nerves because they're young teams sort of starting out. But yeah, it's just going to come down to which team's going to be able to crack that deadlock. Early second half, third quarter. Bit like that. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting for this game.
I think this game, it's both teams are elite when it comes to third down. So what I think is it's going to come down to first and second down. In terms of the Seattle they're fantastic at forcing like third and long, essentially. So if the Pats want to have any success in this, they're going to have success on those first and second down. They can't get into those third and longs at all. And if they can figure out a way to get some, 5+ yards on those first or second downs, then they're going to have a real shot at this. If it's just 2-3 yards, I think it could be a long day for the Pats. And if Seattle, when the Pats have the ball, if Seattle can get New England in more of the third and long, 3rd and 6+, then they're going to play right into Seattle's strength, which is really tight secondary. And they're just going to allow that front, like I said, the front four to get after it. And I think if Drake May has to throw into that Seattle structured secondary, then it could. One of my bets would be on an interception, that May is going to throw an interception in this game. So that's one of the keys there. I also think that New England, when they're on defense, they got to get pressure. Like I said earlier, that their playoff blitz rate has increased to 40%. And the Seahawks have faced the second highest blitz rate in the NFL. So they're okay against the blitz. But New England's blitz is different, and Vrabel is just a master at doing like simulated blitz, where guys will creep up to the line and then back off, or blitzing from the cornerback. They've been doing that a lot in the playoffs. And so it's how is Seattle going to adjust to those types of wrinkles? Because they're going to add wrinkles to it defensively. So are the Pats going to stay aggressive? And which then says, okay, Sam Darnold, you have to beat us in really tight man-to-man coverage, because if they're bringing a blitz, they're going to play man-to-man, and the New England secondary plays good man-to-man defense. Or is he gonna is Darnold going to be able to scramble a little bit, because he can do that. He can. So I'm really curious to see the blitz from New England and how Seattle's going to manage that. And then, of course, I think the Kenneth Walker. We saw him step up when Charbonnet went down. But is Kenneth Walker going to be able to develop that run game? To me, that is huge. And what pissed me off about Walker is I had him on my fantasy team, just if we're going to talk fantasy, and the dude scores 5 touchdowns all season. He's already scored 4 in the playoffs. I mean, I'm sorry, but where was that kind of production in the regular season? So the guy is playing like a beast. He's playing like I thought he would. So it's if Seattle can get Walker productive like they have these last couple games, then and I think they need a couple explosive plays from him. They need those chunk 20 yards, 1 or 2 20-yard plus games or plays from him. So that's where I'm seeing this game.
Hi guys, sorry I couldn't be on the show tonight, but here we go with my Super Bowl prediction. I think it's going to be more defensive than people may imagine, especially with the way the Seahawks are rolling at the moment on the offensive side of the ball. I just think that Christian Gonzalez is going to match up with JSN. It's going to be a hard slog. So what do I think is going to happen? As I said, defensive game. Sam Darnold's going to play well. Everyone is going to play well. It's going to be a great Super Bowl. What do I think? I think it's going to be 17-10 to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I do think there is going to be a defensive touchdown in this game. So, and give that to Nick Emenwari. I think he's going to get a defensive touchdown in there. So if you want to place a little bet on that one, go for it. And the Super Bowl MVP, it's on the defensive side. It may be Emenwari again. So look him up. See, put a cheeky dollar on him if you have to. But again, I just think the two defenses in this Super Bowl are going to be unmatched, and it's going to be a good one. So I hope all you guys enjoy it as much as I will, hopefully. So enjoy.
Right, let's go on with some betting lines. How about I've talked about some multis, and because this stuff just leads itself in. We're already leading ourselves into some betting stuff anyway, and some prop bets. How about, boys? I asked everybody for a 3-leg multi. What's Nick? What did you sort of cut up with? It's bloody hard to try and pick just 3 legs for the Super Bowl when you go for multis.
It is.
But what sort of 3 legs are you favouring for this week's game?
All right, so 3 legs. So as sort of mentioned before, I see it a bit more of a lower scoring game. So the total points I sort of like the under with. I think it's set at 45. I'm just trying to bring it up now. I think it's 45. Correct me if I'm wrong. 45 and a half.
Yep, 45 and a half. Yep.
So I really like that. The next leg I had now leads into a bit of a stat. So 4+ point favourites in a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Only 2 have actually gone on to win the game. The other 5 teams had lost the game, none of which have covered. So out of those 7 games in the last 20 years, a 4+ point favourite has not covered at all. So leads into the next stat of taking the points with the Patriots at +4.5. The final leg I actually am looking at. So last one going with, so the longest pass for Drake May, I think, is set at 32.5 passing yards for one pass. The reason why I'm looking at that is that 2 weeks ago, obviously we talk about Seattle's defense, but against the Rams, they did allow 226 deep passing yards. So that was the second most by any team in any game all year. So if there is a way to be able to get through, you might be able to get over the top. That is also contingent on Will Campbell being able to hold up. So if Will Campbell can hold up and go back to regular season form, obviously the rest of their O-line as well, but it's going to give him time. Drake May can scramble, but can also try and, get Stephon Diggs over the top, or like a couple of weeks ago, that breakout play, that first down for Mac Hollins. So I got Drake May over 32.5 longest pass. Pats taking the points +4.5, and then under 45.5 total points.
Okay, I like those. All right, mine is a little bit more straightforward in the sense that, well, a couple things. I'll go with my two ones that are a little bit more abstract, and then Ramon Stevenson, running back for New England. I'm taking him on the over. So this is leg one. I'm taking him on his receiving yards on the over. So right now it's at, I believe, or when I took the bet, it was at 23.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, around
so Stevenson has run a route, a pass route on 57% of dropbacks in the postseason. So when they drop back and he's in the game, he's running a route typically. And the Seahawks have given up. This is what made me excited about this bet. The Seahawks have given up the most passing yards to running backs in the NFL. And the reason they do that is because they play that too high coverage shell. And so a lot of times it leaves the middle of the field open and they check down. Drake May's not afraid to check it down. So I like the odds of Ramon Stevenson getting over 23 yards receiving. Second leg is Austin Hooper getting over 9.5 receiving yards. So basically one catch is what we're talking about here. But the Pats don't use they don't use 2 tight ends a whole lot, but Hooper is and Hooper has played a limited role in the playoffs, but the Seahawks defense is such where I think Hooper is going to be a little bit more of a focal point because they struggle with that, with his position. And it's just, I think there's a lot of opportunity there for him. He's going to be playing a little bit more. All he needs is that one catch. And I think he's going to get it. So, and then my third one is, I'll tip my hat here, but my third one is not a player prop. It's a team. And I'm taking the Seahawks on the spread.
Righto. I think you said it. You said at the start it's a bit more straightforward, Brad, and then the AJ Hooper stuff wasn't a straightforward thing, but that's okay.
Fair point.
I asked all the boys in the AGN group chat for theirs if they wanted to put one up. There may be more by the time I go out to socials. So far, Tay instantly came back with me for a multi. Of course he does. He's loving life. He's back to NBA multis lately and bets. It's been amazing in the group. So Tay's one. AJ Barner for an anytime touchdown. He loves a bit of AJ Barner. Tay does, and he's like he's the whisperer when it comes to this stuff sometimes. So he'll pick a roughie like that that'll come out of nowhere. He did say to me, Drake May over 35.5 rushing yards. His line, that was his line at the time. It has moved slightly now when I went to just see what these odds were. So I don't want to do him dirty too much. So I've just gone Drake May 30 plus rushing yards. I've just brought it back a little, which is still pretty good. And then straight up Seahawks money line from Tay. And that'll pay you $6.75. That's a good little bet. I like that.
That is a good one. I like that. It's the
multi.
anytime touchdown worries me a little bit, but I like that.
As per usual, mine can get a little rougher. So I've gone Sam Darnold 250 plus passing yards. I reckon for the Seahawks to really win this, it's going to have to be a game like we saw in the last game from Sam Darnold where he takes control in the passing game and really puts this team on his back and goes for it. So I've gone for that. Rashid Shaheed's receiving yard line is at 21.5. I like that for an over for Shaheed in this game. I think JSN's going to get pretty well locked down, and they're going to have to start looking for other receivers. Rashid Shaheed is right up there for me for that one. And then I've gone for a defensive player, someone to record a sack, and it is Byron Murphy II. What an absolute stonking pickup by the Seahawks Byron Murphy has been. So record one sack That comes out at $9.50 for a 3-leg multi.
Sheesh. All right. That's not bad value. I like that. $9.50.
So all fairly logical. Any other lines, you boys? I tossed over so many lines when I was trying to do this. There's so much different stuff I could have gone for. I was looking at other receivers. You can literally bet on every single receiver, every player to have reception yards on both teams in this game. It's insane, being that it is the only game. So the sports books are just flooding the market with lines. I was really sort of going, I think Stephon Diggs is going to be highly involved in the game. So I was sort of looking at his lines a little bit, but it was a bit too much for me, to be honest, to be nervous. But when I looked at the other Patriots players, Kayshon Bouttie's lines is somewhere around like 23, which is really low. I feel like he could have a good impact in this game. Even Mac Hollins, who has been getting a bit of ball, his is really low as well. Kenneth Walker's rush yards are at 73, and I don't like that. I think it's a bit too high. So I'd almost go a bit of a Brad bet there and bet an under on something.
Good.
Yeah, so anything else like that you boys are sort of looking at?
I like the quarterbacks. I'm taking both quarterbacks on the over on their pass attempts. So which is not normally a bet that you can do, but Sam Darnold is at 29.5 for his attempts, and I also took him out on his completions on the over at 19.5. Drake May is 30.5 for his pass attempts, because I think they're going to be playing from behind. And then I got him on the completions as well. And then I did a Hunter Henry anytime touchdown as well. I think that's pretty decent value. He was paying $3.50.
Snap. There you go. I had that one as well. Because I do know, I saw a stat that Seattle's defense is not actually very good against tight ends, and then
there you go.
Hunter Henry actually leads the team in touchdowns for the entire season. So yeah, had that one.
Good bet line, like that.
Couple of fun police ones.
Yeah,
like
here's with fun police.
I wanted to find some niche sort of markets. It's the Super Bowl, so you get a few niche sort of markets. Both teams' first drive, I've got both ending in a punt.
Oh,
so
I like that. Yeah, okay.
Sort of some nerves early. Probably a team goes 3 and out. You incompletions, can't run the ball that well. Yeah, a few 3 and outs. Don't expect either team to sort of go for it early, although, depending on Vrabel, he usually goes for it quite a bit, whereas McDonald actually doesn't on offense. So both teams. So when I did it early in the week, I found that the Patriots for it was only $2, and then Seattle was $2.37. I think they've both gone down since then, so a bit of value. But yeah, both sort of to end in a punt. I don't know what that is if you put it together. I don't know if you can put it together, but yeah, individually to start the game, both kicking it back to each other.
I like that. I like that because I do agree with you. The point you made earlier on it being a bit of a defensive sort of slobber knocker, essentially. Because I think it'll get to a fourth quarter shootout. I think that we'll get to a really close game for most of it, and then we'll hit sort of late third into fourth quarter, and it will be like, we need to win this game. Let's just absolutely hit the pedal down and just push it as far as we can. And I think both teams will have that same mindset, but if they get there. If it is a close game through 2.5 quarters, I think we get to that. So I really like that. Punts on both drives. I like that a lot, actually, Nick.
Yeah, I wanted to find some sort of niche bet, but the only other one I had, and a bit of value just in case there's a break off for special teams, but also could be a bit of trickery involved. I've heard during the week. Rashid Shaheed, anytime touchdown, $4.80.
Oh yeah,
so yeah. You might get value, but potentially with maybe a kick or a pump turn, but also a bit more involvement as a receiver. So he scored, I think, 2 weeks ago as well. So yeah,
give me a line for Shaheed doing a kick return touchdown. Let's go.
Specifically, kick return touchdown. I don't know if we can find
let's
that.
Go. Righto, Great betting lines, boys. Great multis. If you want to chuck yours at us, as I said, I'll throw these things up on socials. So Acad Gridiron, everywhere on socials. Just jump into one of those, whether it's a Facebook page or an Instagram post. Tell us what yours is too, because if it's something that we really like, you know what, we'll probably chuck it on, because this is the biggest game of the year and it is the last game of the year. So we'll probably be hammering the old Bets with Mates group pretty heavily on Sportsbet, just to get as many as we can in and finish on a massive high. So, boys, I've got some games. Great preview, by the way, boys. Congratulations to both of you. That was
Love that.
sensational. I really hope everybody has enjoyed the last hour of talk, because that's a great preview. I've got some fun stuff to end the evening with, or end the episode with. I've got some trivia for both of you. Now, I'll give you the option. I've got 10 questions. Do you want one question each as we go through, or do you want me to just give both of you the question and we can see who can answer it?
Well, it might take both of us to answer it, so we'll see.
Right.
Give it to us both. Give it to
Right,
us.
well, let's hit up some trivia first.
Yep.
Question number 1. I
Alright.
wish I'd done some sound effects here. Some like
Dun, 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 dun.
some thinking music. What team has played in 4 Super Bowls but never held a lead?
Ooh.
Oh, I know that one. I think I know.
Wait,
that. No.
is it first to answer or is it just...
Do you want to go first? You tell me.
No. It's no.
No, let's not make it too much of a competition. It's just trivia.
Just,
So let's just go.
both have a
Alright.
crack.
Nick had his hand up first. He sort of went, ooh, and then Brad went, ooh. Talk me through your thinking, boys. Who do you think?
Well,
But never had a lead.
When you say, yeah, exactly. So when you said 4, my mind instantly went to, obviously it couldn't be a team that's won it. So I instantly went to the Buffalo Bills because they were
Yeah,
in
same.
four straight and they lost them all. But I thought they led
But
at
it's never
halftime.
had a lead.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Super
So I
Bowl.
thought they
Never
led
had a
against
lead.
the Giants.
4 Super
But never
Bowls.
led. Hang on, never led in any Super Bowl ever? Okay.
No,
Or-
been
or
to
4
4
Super
Been to
Bowls.
4 Super Bowls and never held a lead.
I'm trying to think who's been to 4, but
It would
never
be-
even won.
It would be
Apart
yes.
from the Bills.
It has to be the
I
Bills.
can't think.
No.
Is it? You want to go with the Bills as your
But
final answer?
surely in one of those,
I'm gonna go Bills as my final answer. I feel so confident.
Nick,
but
chuck
surely in
at
one
me.
of those, even like the Giants one, surely they would have led in that because wasn't that a close game
I
throughout?
thought they did at halftime, and yeah, and it went wide, but it went wide.
I don't
but-
think they would have led in the Cowboys ones, but
I don't know.
I mean, Brad, you would know that, but
I generally thought the two of you would get this easly, to be honest. I thought Brad would.
all right, lock with the Bills. Lock with the Bills.
Minnesota Vikings.
Have they played in 4 Super Bowls?
The Vikings have been to 4 Super Bowls in the Super Bowl era. We have played 59
Yep.
of them, Nick.
Yeah.
So yes, we played in 4 Super Bowls, never won one, never led in a Super Bowl at all.
Wow, it's
remember.
been so long since they've been in. I mean, we're talking
gonna
Frank
say-
Tarkenton. You
Yeah,
know,
we are
that-
talking way back, way
yeah,
back.
That was before me even.
All right, question number 2. What teams have won the most Super Bowls?
Pats.
Ah,
Sorry.
Pats and
There's,
Steelers.
there's 2 of them.
Pats and Steelers. Ah,
How many each? Go,
One?
how many? How many
6
are they
each.
on?
Oh, okay, so Pats won 11,
No, 1.
No.
How many have they won?
8.
6 each.
6 each. Well done, Nick.
Come on,
Pats-
Brad. You got to know that.
Pats and Steelers. 6
Wow.
each. What 2 teams are tied for the most Super Bowl losses?
Ooh.
Bills and Vikings.
No.
No, it's not us. We've only got 3.
Most Super Bowl losses.
Yep.
Ooh,
2
hang
teams
on,
that
hang
are
on.
tied.
2 teams.
2 teams. Throw one at me, Nick. Go. Come on.
Dallas.
No.
No.
No, hang on. No, they've only had 2. I think I've only had 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Dallas is, they've only
So they've
lost
got to
it
have the
twice.
most losses. So they would have
Most
to play
losses.
in a few Super Bowls to have the
Okay,
most
Yeah.
losses.
so
That's where I say Buffalo 4 losses and the Vikings 4 losses.
I'll give you one hint, Brad.
Yeah.
So the New England Patriots have only won 6 of their Super Bowls.
Oh, okay. So then they lost 5. So,
So
pass.
who is the other team?
Giants?
So-
No.
nah,
The other
nah,
team to
Giants.
lose 5 Super Bowls.
To lose 5.
Patriots and
Oh, that's a good question, Ian.
I'm fixing all right ones then. So far, we're only a couple of questions in.
I'm trying to think of all. I'm trying to think of teams that have been to the championship games heaps.
It's an AFC team. I'll narrow it down to 16. Well, it's actually down to 15 because we've already got the Pats, so they're an AFC
It
team as
can't
well.
be Miami.
A current AFC team, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the Steelers. I don't think it's the Steelers.
Do you want me to narrow it down to division?
Yeah, give me the division.
AFC West.
Raiders.
Yeah. No?
No.
5
74.
losses.
There's only 4 teams in that division.
And it's not the Raiders. Oh,
It's
the
not
Broncos.
The Denver Broncos.
The Broncos. Yes. Okay.
Of course.
Seattle.
Of course. Yeah, because they went to like 3 straight,
Yeah.
I think, with Elway and lost them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
While
Good
we're
question.
still on appearances in Super Bowls, what teams haven't appeared in a single Super Bowl?
Oh, here we go. Ever?
Yeah, there's not a single
Okay.
one.
The Jags?
Weird.
There's 4, right? Jags is
Yep.
one.
The Texans?
Yep.
Yep.
The 4? Hang on.
4. There's 2 more.
Never
Appeared.
appeared in one. Never
Never
appeared.
been to a Super Bowl. Not a single one.
Detroit?
Correct?
No. Yeah.
Yep.
There's one more.
The Lions is one. Who's the 4th one?
Jags, Texans, Lions, and...
Is it
Who's
the
the fourth?
Chargers?
Who is the 4th completely
No, it's not the
terrible
Chargers.
team that in their entire history hasn't been to a
the
Super Bowl?
Browns. The Browns.
Well done. I
There
had to
we go.
lead you to that water, didn't I?
Well, it had to be a shit team.
It
I was
did.
thinking, no, the Jets have won one, so it can't be the Jets.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. Mhm.
Right, question number 5. You've got a few to choose from here. So name 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks from the Super Bowl era that never won the Super Bowl.
Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Dan Marino.
Yep,
Yeah,
name
Dan
3.
Marino.
Just give me 3. Yep, you can give me all of them if you want to, if you can really do it, but I don't think you'll get them. Dan Marino's one
From the modern era that have never won
from the Super Bowl era. Yep.
Yeah, from the Super Bowl era. Marino is the most famous.
There's another one that's right up there.
Phil Sims.
No. Brad said a name earlier.
Really?
I did. No, Elway won.
Elway won 2.
No, that's
Yeah.
not the name you said earlier.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Dan Marino. Phil Sims is not a Hall of Famer.
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts is one of those. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
There's 3 more guys you could pick from to get your 3rd one.
So we got Dan Fouts for the Chargers, and we got
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino
There's another really famous one, Brad, that never won.
that never won.
He's
That
already
never
come
won.
up. He's already come up once.
Oh, Jim Kelly.
Oh, Jim Kelly has not come up once, but there you go. That's not the name you said earlier.
Jim
but he
Kelly.
is
That's
the
what I was
other
thinking
one.
of. Why did I say Phil Sims?
So the other 2 are Warren Moon
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Warren
and,
Moon.
and Fran Tarkenton.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
the guy.
Of course.
You
Yep.
said his name just earlier, Brad.
I wouldn't have gone back there though. The Moon one, I think I may have gotten eventually, but yeah, wow. Okay, cool.
All right.
All right.
Question number 6.
That's what I was thinking of. Jim Kelly.
Okay.
No, Jim Kelly was a great
Buffalo.
one to pick out.
Phil Simms
Buffalo,
actually
yeah.
did win one. Him with LT.
All right, let's go all the way back to January 15, 1967, the very first Super Bowl. How much did a ticket cost to the very first Super Bowl?
$6. I saw a video.
No. Oh,
What?
close. No.
It was $6. I swear it was like $6.
You're close, though.
I was gonna say.
Is this
$10.
Australian or US?
Nah,
It's
$20.
US.
$20.
$12.
$12.
$12. How much is a
Time to
ticket
go
to the
back.
Super Bowl now?
I
I looked the other day, or I saw a thing on socials the other day. I think
Yeah.
the cheapest one I saw on the little map thing that they had was
Yeah.
around $5,000.
That's
These are like
insane.
nosebleeds.
That's ridiculous. It's like the college playoff game was just as bad.
Yeah.
The championship game.
Number
That's
7.
horrible.
What was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history? Come on, boys. You should be able to get this and the teams. Lowest scoring Super Bowl in history of all 59.
Dallas, Denver.
Would it be Pats Rams?
It would be
13-3?
Pats. It would be Pats Rams 13-3.
Tom Brady's last one, yeah.
Yep.
They
2018.
scored 3.
They did. And literally, the only touchdown was the Gronkowski. No, was it Gronkowski? It was a fade to Gronk, I think. Or was that sort of the first down that set it up? I think something like
The
that.
very first Super Bowl I ever watched, and I didn't really ever want to watch football after that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
13-3, yeah.
People are
That's
around the world
Rams.
get hyped for this.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I went with some mates to a pub in Newcastle that was just serving some food. I wasn't really an NFL fan that much, and I went to that. They was like, "Come along to the Super Bowl." Yeah, sure, why not? And by half time, I was just getting drunk with other people and eating a lot of burgers and wings because I couldn't give a shit about what was on the TV
Yeah, right.
because it was pretty boring.
Yeah.
Number 8. What is the highest score ever by one team in a Super Bowl game?
I know this
Cowboys.
Nick should know
Buffalo.
this.
I know
should
this one.
You do?
one. 1980. I can't remember what year, but we played Denver. We won 55-10.
Correct.
Wow. That was back when blowouts.
I literally
were
saw
just
the match the
normal.
other day. It was on
It was
YouTube.
Super Bowl 24?
Yeah,
XXIV?
19
Is that right? 24. Yeah.
I think it was
55 points by the
86.
49ers.
There was a period
89.
there, yeah, when the NFC was just every year just killed the AFC and it was just blowouts. It was embarrassing.
What was the very first wildcard team to win the Super Bowl? Or who was the very first
First.
wildcard team to win the Super Bowl?
Wasn't it Tampa Bay when they just did it with
No.
the
No,
The
no,
very
no.
first one, Brad?
I know, because Rogers did it. But I don't know if he was the first.
Yeah, he would have been.
Was he the first? Because he was the 6th seed.
No.
No, he wasn't.
It was the Oakland Raiders. How's that
Really?
for a callback?
No, there you go.
Oakland
Wouldn't have got
Raiders.
that.
That is impressive. Yeah, I would not have got that.
All right, I got a set up for the last one for you.
Oh wow! All
Ready?
right.
Set up. Okay.
You ready?
Woo! I'm getting excited.
Come with me on a journey. It's the 2nd of February 2015. New England Patriots versus Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll versus Bill Belichick. Tom Brady versus Russell Wilson. The
What a
Patriots have just come back from being 24-14 down at the end of the third quarter to score 14 unanswered points via touchdowns to Amendola and Julian Edelman. They left the Seahawks with an entire 2 minutes to seal the game and hoist the Lombardi. After being held to successive 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter, the Seahawks start the drive with a 31-yard pass to Marshawn Lynch and then a 33-yard pass to Kearse.
Yeah, the
to
bubble
set
catch.
the Seahawks up at the New England 1-yard line and surely looking like winning the game. But instead of giving the ball to Beast Mode, who had 24 carries for 102 yards up until that point, the Seahawks strangely went to a passing play. Russell Wilson drops back to pass and is intercepted by Malcolm Butler in the end zone. Who was the intended receiver on that fated play?
I don't think it was Doug Baldwin. I don't think it was. I'm just trying to go through who else was receiver that year. Maybe it was.
How's that for a setup?
Yeah, that is a very good setup.
Because I think. Oh, hang on.
I will say this. So I've been watching the Super Bowl literally every year since since I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere around there. There's only one Super Bowl I have not watched one play of.
Is it that one?
And it's that Super Bowl because I was walking to my car, ready to come home. I'd managed to do the media blackout all day. I think you guys may have heard this story. And I did not know anything. As I'm getting to my car, a kid shouts out across the parking lot, "Hey, Mr. Cummins, did you see the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl?"
And you've never watched
I've never
it
heard
since,
that.
Brad.
Have you never seen that game?
And
You've never seen it since.
I said to my family, I says, "I'm not watching one play of this damn thing." So I was so pissed off.
You do have to.
Before
Monday, you have to, at least, just because it's the rematch.
Yeah, actually, I should. You're right. Good call. I should.
So who was the receiver on that intended play?
I reckon.
Who was Russell Wilson?
Baldwin sets
targeting?
the pick. He's trying to send the intended pick to Butler, but misses him, and that's how Butler gets in. But I don't know who.
I think. Well, wasn't it that? Wasn't it the guy that came out of obscurity that they were just using some big guy like 6'5"?
Nah, I don't think so.
Or was it Baldwin? It was Baldwin.
Maybe I'm overthinking it.
I'm going Baldwin.
Are you talking about Doug Baldwin?
Yeah.
Nick?
Fuck it, let's lock it in. I can't think of any other receivers that they had that year.
Ricardo Lockett.
Oh.
Lockett.
Nah, there's no way I would have got that.
Oh man. Yeah, no. Your setup was good on that. Much better than the receiver.
That's an insane. Brad, you should watch that game. I've seen highlights of that game.
You should watch it.
Marshawn Lynch in that game was a dominant force, and that's why everyone was like, "Why did you not just give the ball to
he
beast
wins
mode
MVP
on a
that
1
day.
yard line?"
I saw the full game.
He wins the game.
He wins MVP.
He wins that game.
MVP.
You hand that ball off, they
And-
win that game.
And literally, how they got to the 1 yard line is after they had that bobbled catch by the tight end. Can't remember his name now. They give it off to Marshawn. He goes for about, I think, 6 yards or something.
4.
And he gets tackled, 4 yards. It's like that far away.
He gets tackled
Someone-
on the line.
Yeah, someone has him and he's still powering on. Then someone sort of undercuts him and he just falls short. And so literally, if he stays upright, he probably gets into the end zone. So it's quite a story.
It wasn't.
What a great finish.
It wasn't Fant, was it? Tight end Noah Fant?
No, that's well before his time.
Yeah.
Well before his time.
I don't know who the tight end was at you. But yeah, that was.
It took 11 years ago now.
Because the Patriots held them to. They forced them to punt on the only 2 other drives that they had in the fourth quarter, and the Pats scored on their drives. And then they come out in that last one, 2 minutes to go, and they went straight up. It was a 31-yard pass straight away to Lynch, and he took it for 31. Yeah, so it was a pass to Lynch, and he took it for 31. Then they actually had 2 stops essentially, so they were just 2 incompletes, and then they throw a 32. So it was a crazy drive considering they'd been stopped already.
You gotta watch it, Brad.
Well done, boys.
The results even better, but great game.
All right, we got some
cool.
Super Bowl. We got some fun Super Bowl props to finish the episode with. I chucked up a couple of small things that we can just have a bit of fun and pick amongst ourselves. It's not necessarily something we bet on. I have bet on these kind of dumb things before in the past, and certainly the casuals will bet on this kind of stuff anyway. If you're just watching the Super Bowl, what color Gatorade will be poured on the winning coach? Let me share a screen to you boys, and everyone out there will see something else, because I've got the American odds essentially. I don't know if you can see that there. Is that too small? That's what she said. What colour Gatorade poured on the winning coach? The by far and away the top picks are orange and blue at plus 240, and then you get the yellow, green, lime 275, purple at 550. Clear of water. Who puts water in their tank? Jesus Christ.
No way. I can't believe that's an option.
And red and pink. Not this year, Satan. I mean Chiefs.
Not today, Satan.
I would go with blue out of that. Both teams have blue. I would think there'd be blue. That's my pick. Isaac gave me his. He said purple. So Isaac's gone for a roughie. Love it. Brad?
Seahawks blue.
Ooh, Brad's going blue. Nick?
I reckon. You know, I might go the green. Yellow, green line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the lime.
Right.
The best flavour, by the way.
Oh,
Absolute
really?
best flavour of Gatorade.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best. Nah.
I'm not a big Gatorade fan, period. So.
Right. Time of national anthem. The line is set at 125 seconds.
Who's singing it? Do we know?
I did look that up before, and I can't remember his name now. National anthem Super Bowl 2026 he's a pop singer. Charlie Puth. I don't know what he sings, to be honest.
I do not know.
Under.
I apologize to all our Charlie Puth fans, but I do not know.
I go under.
Under 125. Brad, under or over 125?
Over. Somebody like that's just going to want to suck up as much airtime as possible.
By the dawn.
Exactly. And the this is going to go on forever.
Isaac went over as well. I'm going to go under, just for the hell of it. He's put up YouTube videos of him already singing the anthem and done some spots on different shows. He's gone both ways. He did, on his YouTube videos, he hammered it out in 75 seconds. And it's like, I feel like that's a...
I'm good.
I feel like
that's a bait and switch.
That is a bait and switch, but I'm going to go the under anyway. Under 125. Sorry, so I went under. I know Isaac went over. Did you two go over?
Yeah, I did.
I went under.
Nick's under. All right, cool. Here's an interesting one. A term that I found out just today. Apparently this play is called an octopus. Same player to score a touchdown and then the 2-point conversion on that same drive. Yes or no? Will a player score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the same drive?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
I'm going yes. I'm going yes.
I love it. I love it. But no.
I love it, but no. Isaac says no. Computer says no. Yes or no?
This has got a JSN.
Oh, you're seriously overthinking this, Nick.
Nah, we'll go no. We'll go no.
Okay, I'm the only one on yes. Team yes. Excellent. I love it. We've got, of course, the Super Bowl is always a massive amount of celebrities and fans, or celebrity fans of the teams. They just rock up to a Super Bowl. Probably get free tickets there as well. That's why it's $5,000 for a normal person to buy a ticket. So which team's fan will be shown first? This is a two-part question. So Seahawks fans, we've got at the top of the betting list Richard Sherman.
So I'm wondering, are these is it when you say Seahawks fan? Is it just these specific fans? It can't be like just a random, me with my Seahawk thong on or something. Sorry.
No, Brad. No, it can't be.
No, Brad. You can't pick the person that's in aisle 141, seat G.
No, these celebrities, Brad. So
Okay,
Richard
this
Sherman, Chris Pratt, Will Ferrell, Rainn Wilson, Eddie Vedder. These are all people who are actually Seahawks fans. Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby's Got Back.
Who's broadcasting? Is it NBC? Is that right? Do they have the broadcast this year?
No, you're right. It is. It's NBC.
No, Fox had it last year.
Yeah,
No, it's NBC. Yep.
Collins and Tariqa.
Yes, it is.
I reckon Will Ferrell.
I'm gonna go Sherman. Richard Sherman.
Okay.
Isaac's told me Will Ferrell for this one.
And so we're picking a single person from each team. Is that
One
what
person. Yeah, one person from each
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
Sherman.
Right, and the Patriots fans: Mark Wahlberg, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, John Krasinski, John Cena, John Bon Jovi, Elizabeth Banks, Steven Tyler, Bill Burr, and Conan O'Brien.
Steven Tyler, man, he's gonna wheel him in his wheelchair in there, Jeez.
I'm gonna go John Cena, even though you normally can't see him, but that's where we go now.
Oh, come on,
Nice, good. I like that.
I know that Isaac picked Bill Burr. He's gone for a roughie, plus 1,600 for Bill Burr.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not overthinking this one. Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Well, okay, nice.
No,
Brad?
Bon Jovi. He's the most famous of them all. So
Beg to differ there, but sure. Why
Doesn't
not?
mean he's first, but anyway.
All right, Brad. To finish the episode. To finish the episode.
no, I got to give you a couple crazy bets that I came
okay.
across. But
Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you
go
the
ahead.
last one of mine then. Because we know how much Brad is looking forward to watching the Bad Bunny halftime show.
tell.
Brad
No.
may tune into the Turning Point America halftime show instead
No.
and watch some Kid Rock.
No,
But
I do like Kid Rock, but no.
this is a genuine bet that you can get in America on American betting sites. Will Bad Bunny show during his halftime performance a nipple? Yes or no?
Please, no. But yes.
Is that the answer you want, or is that the
Yeah,
answer that
exactly.
you think?
I don't want the nip, but I think he'll show it. So if I'm
I don't
betting
want
money,
the nip, but I think he'll slip.
Yeah,
There you
if
go,
I'm
Brett.
betting money, it's a yes.
I'll go yes. Nick?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
All right.
Brad, you said you got a couple others?
I do. Okay. So some crazy bets that I found. Which Bay Area, because the Super Bowl's in San Francisco, the Bay Area, which Bay Area landmark will be shown first? Is it the Golden Gate Bridge or Alcatraz Island?
The bridge.
The bridge. It's always the bridge. Every
bridge,
time
eh?
we've got it, every time we have a primetime game at home, it's always the bridge. Safe
Okay.
bet.
All right. But they are doing the pregame show from Alcatraz Island. But
Safe as Alcatraz.
Yeah. This one is a nod to Mike Vrabel. Will a Patriots linebacker catch a touchdown pass? Because Vrabel
Loves
did catch one in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they've run plays recently where they've put defensive linemen in on offense to run like QB sneaks or touch push scenarios.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility that he would dial something like that. I'll say yes. I'll go yes.
Nah, no way.
Okay. All right. I like this one. Will the Seahawks attempt a pass from the opponent's 1 yard line?
Yes.
You know that Mike McDonald has been asked this so many times in interviews this week. Official
really?
NFL interviews, yeah, on the little podium thing that they set up for the interviews during the week, yeah. But some guy set up the scenario, said, "Will you pass?"
Imagine if they
from
run the
like
same
that?"
play.
And he said his
And they score.
first thing he said was, "Is beast mode on the field?"
They run the same play, but this time they score.
I like it. Will an unauthorized person, e.g., streaker, enter the field of play?
No, that stuff gets locked down big time these days.
Yeah, it's too hard. Which song will be sung first by the crowd? Is it Sweet Caroline or Country Roads?
By the crowd, how are you going to know the answer to this?
When will it happen?
Sweet Caroline.
Man, these, believe it or not, these both have the same exact odds. So
I don't know when would that happen, considering the pre-game show is Green Day.
Again, another reason. Seriously, come on, the NFL, don't pander to me with your old white men now.
No, they're
All right.
trolling Trump. That's all it is. It's just trolling Trump.
Full on. All right, and then we'll close out with this. What's your over/under on, if you want to ruin the betting party, what's your over/under on total number of punts? Is it?
Give me a line, Brad. Give me a line.
7.5. So
Total punts,
7.
both teams. Both teams total.
7.5. What's your over/under on that?
Under, that's too high.
Over.
Under.
That is a
Under.
that is a fun police bet when you
Isn't
pick
it?
over, isn't it?
It's the total. It's the biggest Brad bet there is. A fun police through and through.
I love it. That's my favorite one.
Yep, exactly.
Well
done.
Well, yeah, punts and pancakes, buddy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
That's it. That's everything we've got to say about the Super Bowl for now. So that's our preview. Thank you very much for following along. I hope you've had a bit of fun and you've gained some information and you are as excited about the Super Bowl as we all are. As I've said many times, at G'day Gridiron on socials everywhere, Instagram, Facebook. I think from memory we're on others, but you'll find us. YouTube
Ian,
for
quickly.
certain. Yes, go.
Nick, can we do a score prediction?
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it real quick. Okay, I'm going
No
24/7.
thoughts.
No, just straight off the cuff. 24-17 Seahawks.
24-13 Seahawks.
Yes, he one-pointed me. I love it.
They've actually achieved that exact score so many times this season already. That's why I picked
Have
it,
they?
Brad. Yeah,
Oh.
Nick,
Weird score. Give me a weird score. All right, I'm going to go
score a game. Let's go, Nick. Just for Major.
What? 20-18.
20-18.
Ooh,
Seattle.
that is crazy.
That's a rugby
I like
league
that.
score right there.
I like it.
Right, yeah. At G'day Gridiron everywhere. Linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network for all of the links, including to our merch store and a lot of other stuff. We will be back on the other side of the Super Bowl for our Super Bowl reactions show. That wasn't English. Super Bowl reactions show. You can chuck your reactions in on social media. Again, go to socials. We'll put up a post. We would love to hear your thoughts on the Super Bowl as a whole. And we'll be back on the other side of the biggest game on earth this Monday. See you later. Have fun. Peace.
Go Pats. Please,
Hawks.
go Pats.